Hello, my narcissistic abuse family. I've been thinking about this video for a while, and I think it's a good time to make it. So, today I'm covering, it's going to be like an update basically on when the black sheep leaves. Because, oh man, I did that and okay, so I started navigating through like this whole concept of narcissistic abuse. It was the biggest light bulb, the biggest validation, putting the pieces together and realizing that this is what has plagued me my whole life with these people. My mother was a primary narcissist. My father was an inverted narcissist, which basically means like he wants to ride the coattails of the narc. He wants to reap all the evil, benefits of that malicious type of behavior and treating people like crap. But he doesn't have the I don't know. I don't want to say like strength because narcissists are super weak, but he doesn't have like the initiative to be that unapologetically nasty. So he's like inverted, but he's the enabler to the max. Like he will follow this woman to the bowels of hell and back. He has been nothing but nasty, sacrificing his relationship with his own children. He has no shame, and he supports her to the death. But anyway, so that's my parental unit, the toxic duo. My older brother, sibling, he was successfully triangulated against me as his younger sister. The narc made sure to do that. She turned everyone against me, including my own father, whatever. So the golden boy, my older sibling, turned into a flying monkey for sure. He was turned against, like, we have no relationship. So that's the toxic unit, as I like to refer to them. I don't like to refer to these people with the endearing terms of mother and father because that suggests some type of connection, and honestly speaking, no one had any connections. So let's just get that straight. But, alright, so in terms of when the black sheep leaves, I am the black sheep, tried and true, through and through. So I was kind of like stumbling along, trying to navigate how I was going to move forward with these people, with this new insight, this new information. And so I went a couple months and I was doing the gray rock method, if you've ever used that. It's like being as boring and unengaging as a gray rock. That's where the name comes from. It's like you just give one word answers, you don't give any fluff, you don't really engage, you don't offer any narcissistic supply essentially. So I was doing that, and I could tell that the fury was just gaining momentum. They were definitely getting pissed at me, and she wasn't getting her narc supply from me because I've always been the provider, the black sheep. She always hijacked my life event, my beautiful family, our son up there. She just hijacked all of it for herself. All the attention, all the glory, that's all, something that she has always felt entitled to. So me cutting off the supply was like a real shock to the system. Nobody expected it. So I started off by gray rocking. I'm sorry, I'm in this wheelchair here. It's not the best. But anyway, so I started limiting my contact with her. And the enabler. I mean, the enabler is easy. I never really said 2 words to the man. He was always just like a sidekick to the narc. But I really started to pull back and, erect my boundaries. And I started to pull back to just limit my contact, as I said. And she did not like that. Now, there's 2 types of narcissistic mothers. There's the engulfing mother who is, as it sounds, completely consuming and just crosses every boundary all the time, very, very actively involved in your life. And then there's the ignoring type that just can't be bothered with you. And, you're reduced to like an insignificant role in her life. That's how she treats you, just like nothing. And of course, my narc mother, she is like the worst of everything. If she was like ignoring me like my whole life, like treated me like a piece of crap and like I wasn't worthy of her time and attention. But now that I started to separate myself, she became engulfing, wouldn't you know? Oh my goodness. So there's videos about this in my stories, but it happened in August of 2019. So now we're in March of 2021. That's the timeline here. And in August of 2019, her and the enabler, it was such a scene. It could have been out of the narc playbook. So I had been distancing myself, as I said, and I had, like, my husband and I had a few people over. I had a group reading because I love doing that stuff. Our son is passed. If you followed me, you know. And I did not invite her because I don't like her, first of all. She's rude, and I just wanted to enjoy my friends, and I just wanted to have a good time, so I did not include the narc. Well, she was catching on to the fact that I was, distancing myself, as I said, and I stopped returning her phone calls is what was happening. And she was just seething, stewing in the background. And then one day, oh man, the enabler, he would always Skype our kids. Mind you, they live 10 minutes away and could very easily see. We've always given them, we always did give them free reign, free access to our children because we wanted them to have a good relationship, but whatever. Anyway, so 10 minutes away, and he's Skyping them on the computer. And he calls, and I'm home myself with the kids because my husband was at work. And so I see the call coming through, and I'm like, oh, man. My youngest daughter was with me. I was like, you want to talk to Papa? And she was like, yeah, because, they're kids, and they're adorable, and they're innocent, and they're just perfect and sweet, and they have no bad bones in their body. Anyway, so she was like, yeah, so, whatever. I answered the dang call, and sure enough, he was like, oh, you want to come swimming? And I was like, never mind me being the parent and what I have planned for the day, or what I would prefer. Nope, just went right over my head. Asked my daughter. They wanted to come swimming, and she was like, yeah, because, they're kids, and they're awesome, and they're enthusiastic. So they said yes. So he was like, all right, we'll be right over. And mind, in the interim, the narc texted my husband to make sure he was not home. Just me in my wheelchair with the 2 kids. So that was it. She texted him. She said, oh, Joe, are you home? And he said, no, I'm at work. Never wrote back to him. She got the information she needed. She was like, okay, great. So she comes swooping in on her broom with the enabler. Actually, she sent him in the door first, and he was like, oh, why aren't you talking to mommy? And whatever. I was like, I'm fine, I'm good, because I'm getting, through these realizations that there's absolutely no changing them. When you're dealing with a narcissist, there's no rehabilitation, there's no hope for them. Coming to terms with that was just an instrumental part in my healing. You can't help them. No matter what you do, I'm sure you did the same thing. You jumped through hoops as a child all growing up, trying to get them to love you, to pay attention to you, and it's fruitless. There's no point in it. So anyway, so I was like, I'm good. And he kept persisting. And then she comes crawling in the door behind him, like no makeup on, like all teary, and, the victim as always. And, oh man, I have videos on this, but, she basically, verbally attacked me. She just started it in front of my kids, and then she had daddy take the kids outside. But whatever, man. So that was the beginning of me as the black sheep leaving. She totally attacked me. And, from the narc playbook, basically, again, she was like trying to slander me, put me down, make me feel like a piece of garbage because I'm the dumping ground for these miserable people as the scapegoat, the black sheep. That's been our assigned role ever since. So she started trying to slander me and bring up crazy things, and that was a whole ordeal. And after that whole thing happened, Joe, my husband, was like, no, we're done. We're done with this. You're not dealing with this. And as was I. I was already there, man. But he jumped upward. And we were, pretty confused because we have kids. And we were like, oh, our kids have a relationship with these jerk balls. And, so one of our biggest concerns is, our kids are our top priority. And we were concerned that our kids had this phony ass touch and go relationship with these people. It was, no choice for our kids that it wasn't more than it was. But the narc had to control everything. Her time is so precious to her. She doesn't want to do anything for anyone else ever, including her own grandchildren. That's how screwed up these people are. But so my husband and I, our big concern proceeding, making decisions was we want our kids' best interests at our heart. And then I got this bit of information from my older daughter. She told me that the narc actually attempted to guilt trip her. My child, she was 7 or 8 at the time. Actually, let me just do the math. 19. So she was 8 at the time. And the narc had the audacity to tell my child that, I felt really bad because you didn't give me a birthday present. Obviously, we're the ones that did not buy a birthday present. And she came at my 8-year-old telling her that she felt bad that she didn't get a birthday present from them. Are you flipping kidding me? So that sealed the deal for me and my husband. We were both like, no, she doesn't deserve to be a part of our lives, particularly these children. This is something, as victims of narcissistic abuse, we have been trained to put ourselves at the bottom of the list. We have no concern for our own well-beings. But when you have a family, when you have your own kids, you're like, no one will, I won't let anyone harm them or do anything to hurt them in any way, that as parents, like, we can do whatever we can do our best to like control that. But even if you don't have your own family, your own kids or a husband, wife, whatever, we need to love ourselves enough to stop this, man. No one deserves to be treated the way these people treat us. They degrade us, like they want us to feel terribly about ourselves so that we don't question the horrific, abusive way that they treat us. But one of the biggest steps in overcoming all of this is knowing that we deserve better, trying to establish a sense of self-worth that we didn't get to do in childhood because of them. But self-love is so important. So you deserve better. You deserve better treatment. But when she did come at my daughter, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, bets are off. I'm done with this. So my husband and I, we told the toxic duo, we just need a break from you for now, and we proceeded from there. So this was on the eve of, fall, winter, so all the family holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas we celebrate. So I knew that this was not going to go over well. This was not going to sit well. So for Thanksgiving and Christmas, we did our own thing and it was awesome. It was so awesome. Like our first holidays as a family, just enjoying each other, loving each other, having a good time, not having that awkward, like, she has this way about her. She's so condescending, the narc. So it was so awesome to go through holidays without that. So that was that. And then we kept going. So like, and they, of course, violated boundaries by like dropping off presents at our house. Because as I mentioned, we only live like 10 minutes away. So they would come here and leave stuff at our front door for our kids, because they care about them so much. And I'm being sarcastic. That's not like, they love to show them off and to use them. But in terms of like actually being present in their lives, they never were. But anyway, so they would drop off presents and stuff. And to which I responded, I made it crystal clear, not okay. We don't want you anywhere near our home, our property, our street. Our street's a dead end. So I was like, don't come down our street. If you followed me, you see all the correspondence in my highlight bubbles on my Instagram page. If you're interested, go there, check it out. But so the enabler would send these, trying to guilt trip messages for like Thanksgiving. Your family's so important, your mother, yada, yada, yada. By the way, if you're getting bombarded with crap like that from these people, it's inapplicable. Dysfunction to the max in regard to these people. Never had a real family. But I'm sorry, I just can't stop talking about this. So where I'm at now, so it was not a smooth break, and it won't be, trust me. I mean, unless you get lucky. But in terms of breaking away from these people, you're the family garbage can. You're the dumpster for all their misery and all of their issues. So when you take yourself out of the equation, they will initially bond together over their shared hatred of you because you've hurt them so much, you've done them so wrong by like actually sticking up for yourself and getting out of the toxicity. They don't like it, so they'll bond together. They'll, drag your name through the mud. You're wicked, you're the worst. They'll definitely do that in the beginning. They'll smear campaign the hell out of you to anyone that will listen. That has happened, and I'm finally at the point where I'm just like, okay, say whatever you want to whoever you want. Anyone that believes you, okay, like they don't know me. They don't have anything to do with me, because anyone that knows me knows that whatever picture she's painting is not me. It's not me at all. It's not us. So these smear campaigns, have at it, So they did that. For holidays, and here's the other. I think it's hilarious, man. Like, you reap what you sow, and they deserve every bit of their misery because nobody did this. They brought this on themselves. So with my golden boy, flying monkey older brother, he married, like, he's like a narc now himself, which is, another video. But so they have like no relationship with him either. Like, he probably has like loads of anger and resentment because he followed their rules and did what they wanted growing up, and he's still miserable. So I'm no doubt he hates them. But so he always goes with his wife's family. She's awful. And they always go with them. So they don't really have anything to do with the toxic duo. So the toxic duo has been spending holidays alone. Boo-hoo. And we were always the source for them, like entertainment. We would always host them. And so there's that. They're like crying the blues about being by themselves, no doubt. He is on Facebook and just spew it. Like, I'm not on social media. This is this and the gram. That's all I do. And it's for this purpose. But he's all over Facebook, like family this, like trying to paint himself as such a martyr, such a great dad, whatever, man. Like, couldn't be farther from the truth. Fake book. So, there's that. And then, what else? I don't know, and that we're going through this pandemic, this global crisis. So, they've probably had to spend more time together lately than ever. And I have no doubt that she has turned on him, because she's just an endless wealth of misery and anger and resentment. So she's turned on him. And that's why I think he lashed out so nasty at me several times. Because he knew what was coming down the pike for him. He knows, like, that he is with a wicked woman. And that there's no end to her misery. And she needs to target it on someone. So he was next in line. So no doubt he is, he's the latest object of her wrath. Oh well, again, they reap what they sow. I give none, what. So that's where I'm at. It's really awesome. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's sad because this is where we came from, right? So we essentially came from nothing. That's sad, but better, my George Washington quote that I always go to, better to be alone than to be in bad company. 100%. I deserve better. My family deserves better. And I'm thrilled where I'm at today, I'll tell you. It's like, the last ditch effort from the enabler was to like threaten me with inheritance or something. First of all, the narc is going to spend every last dime on herself, no doubt. Second of all, it's not like they have like this big estate or tons of all the money in the world. I don't care, man. It's my sanity is invaluable, and I'm not going to be a slave to them for their inheritance or whatever. And the golden boy definitely is. So that's something that maybe impacted him. I said to them, I'm 40 years old. I'm like 40 now. And I said, 40 years and I haven't skipped a beat eliminating you from my life. That day that they attacked me at our house was the last time I saw them. And if I never see them again, great. Good for me. That's that. So, like I said, it's like a year, 7 months out. And I'm thrilled. I have no regrets whatsoever. And this is a predominant theme that I hear your feedback from this awesome community. No one has ever said to me that they regret cutting off contact. I'll tell you that right now. So I appreciate that not everyone can do it, and No one knows your life better than you. Most importantly, though, have boundaries and protect yourself from their attacks. Now that you have this insight, this knowledge as to what their game is and what they're doing, protect yourself, number one. But going no contact has been awesome. So when the black sheep leaves, good for us. Black sheep victory, because black sheep are the best. And I've said this before, we're the ones that are, human, we're fun, we have feelings, we bring so much to the table that they can't even come close to, and that's why they target us. Again, they're the most jealous, envious people on the planet, and they're so jealous even of their own child. It's crazy. But the black sheep leaving, love it. I love it. I'm so grateful. And if you decide to do this, good for you. God bless you. It's not an easy path. They'll come after you. They'll try to guilt trip you. They'll slander you. Whatever, man. We deserve better than they ever had to offer, than they ever will have to offer. Because they're narcs and they'll never change. We are bumped. We are bruised. But more than anything, you guys, we are blessed. Because we're better people from having gone through all this garbage. And we love and appreciate our meaningful, authentic relationships. We would never treat someone the way we were treated from these narcs, this abuse. So that's it. I love you all. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. Please please subscribe. I appreciate each one of you. I'll be back soon.